What's up, you guys? Steven here for Off the Shelf Movie Night to talk to you about physical media, about Blu-rays, 4Ks, and DVDs. Why we like to buy and own our movies and TV shows and display them in a beautiful library. If you're a movie collector, want to be a movie collector, or you just want to talk about movies, I think you're in the right spot. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and join the conversation here. If you like what you see, definitely like and share. That helps get the word out about what we're doing here. Now, this is going to be kind of a short video for a lot of reasons. Mainly, I'm heading out of town tomorrow. I'm actually leaving the country. I'm going to Cozumel for a week. So next week's stuff is going to be very, very sketchy. So if you want to see Cozumel stuff, follow my TikTok account, which I have posted down here. It's just OTS Movies. But right now, what you saw from maybe the thumbnail is I'm going to talk about Skinamarink. This is a new indie horror that started out as kind of a TikTok sensation. I'm not going to spoil it because it is very hard to see still. It was picked up by Shudder, so it will get easier to see. But right now it's in limited release in some theaters across the country. So I'm not going to get, too spoilery. I will say this. It's very, very a shame. I'm going to say this right now. If you don't get to see this in a theater, the likelihood that this movie doesn't work for you is very high. This is a movie that needs to be seen in theater, cranked up really loud. So if it doesn't come to a theater near you, if it does, you need to spend the money and the time to support indie horror because it needs your support. But if it doesn't, and you watch this at home, my recommendation is dark room, phone turned completely off. Make sure you are completely free of distraction because the only way this movie works is if you give yourself to it for the whole hour and 40 minutes. Go pee beforehand. Get your snacks beforehand. If you pause this movie watching it at home, it won't work for you. The movie's biggest tool in its tool chest is the way it wafts over you. And if you pause that or you stop it, whatever, you're going to destroy the flow. And you could likely end up hating it, and it would literally be your fault. So, and that's why I say it's really hard to make this thing work at home. Seeing this in the theater, I saw it last night as I'm recording this, and the movie was sold out. And it was in an art house theater here in Nashville, and they were not anticipating it to sell out. They were understaffed. They were not ready for us. So I first heard about Skinamarink on TikTok. A lot of people were bootlegging it there. I don't support that whatsoever. But in this particular case, that hype may have helped it get its distribution deal. Although I think had it just completed its film festival circuit, it still would have gotten picked up because it's that unique. So let me just tell you, in case you haven't read what the movie is about, I'm going to tell you what the marketing description of the movie is. It's directed by Kyle Edward Ball. This is his feature film directorial debut. He's previously done some short films and music videos. So basically, two children wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing. And all the windows and doors in their home have vanished. That is the full and complete description of Skinamarink. So I want to say this: if you and this could come off as an insult, but it's really not meant to be. I'm just trying to, set your expectations without spoiling the movie. If peak horror for you is put out by Blumhouse, this movie might not be for you. Because if you could look up what is the opposite of Blumhouse, this movie would pop up. And I think Skinamarink is going to be very divisive. I think some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. And this is a situation where I love to argue with people when I disagree. Not argue, but debate and discuss movies and media and art when I disagree with them. But in this case, if you came to me and said, I did not like it, I would just have to look at you and say, okay, I understand. I can understand why people won't like Skinamarink. Now, I ended up really, really liking the movie, but it was an experience for me. The first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, I wasn't sold. I'm watching it thinking, okay, this has a really cool artist's eye, but it feels like it's a little bit internety, a little Reddity, a little, you know, just kind of riffing on some stuff that has been around the internet for a while. Not specifically, you won't look at it and say, oh, I saw that on this page or that page. It just felt kind of like some stuff that I have experienced online. But what was really interesting is about that 20 to 30 minute mark into the movie, I started to feel pain, like literal pain, like my back was hurting. And I realized, I was gripping the seat, the armrests of the chair, and I was starting to sweat. And it was all because of this movie, because this movie slowly builds up anxiety. Like you're watching it thinking, oh, this is some kind of art piece, or this is some kind of, blah, 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 some kind of riff on, silly stuff that's online or whatever, but it's not. It may be taking influence from that stuff, but it takes all of that stuff to, to a whole new level. And it just completely builds anxiety. It is scary at times. It's scary at a lot of times. It's really scary. But the really most effective part of the movie is the atmosphere through its visuals and through its audio, through its sound, that's consistently building tension and anxiety. So when the scary bits happen, they are amplified because you were already wound up. I can't remember the last time a movie maybe gave me this experience. And I don't know if any movie particularly has done it like this. It's just such a different kind of movie. Now, that's where we get to the potential not liking the movie. And it is because the movie does not have a traditional 3-act structure. You can argue easily that nothing at all happens in this movie. And you would be reasonable to argue that. This is not your traditional storytelling, not by any definition of what storytelling is. This is very different. This is art first. And by art, I mean like living nightmare. It's an hour and 40 minutes long, and it's an hour and 40 minute nightmare. It's such an internet trope to call something nightmare fuel. I feel like that term is freaking, try not to curse, cringy at this point, but it really kind of is. I mean, if I was going to really give you a synopsis of this movie, I would say this is a living, breathing nightmare. I feel like we probably have, as humans, all experienced some aspect of this movie in our nightmares, and that's just in its atmosphere. It really works. I may sound like I'm being vague about Skinamarink, and I am for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to spoil it, and two, the movie's that way. The movie's vague. It is, and you might not like it because of that. But if you want an anxiety-driven nightmare experience, then you need to watch Skinamarink. But you really need to watch it in theater, because it needs to be, the visual needs to be really big. It needs to engulf you. The sound needs to be loud. It needs to cover anything else that you would be hearing. It needs to waft over you. That's the way this movie works best. Any other way you're watching this, it doesn't work. If you're watching this on a computer, you're watching this on a phone or a tablet, it does not work. I probably would have tapped out. And you can't be watching it in any way that you, as I've said, where you would be distracted. Because it won't work then. It won't. I'm really interested to see what you guys think of the movie, because I do feel it's a divisive experience. For me, it was incredible. I love to be challenged in the theater. And this movie challenged me in a way that I had a physical response to it. My back hurt after watching this movie because I was so tense for that entire last hour of the movie. Like I said, I was sweating. I'm not an anxious person, but I understand what anxiety is after watching Skinamarink. So let me know in the comments, what did you guys think of Skinamarink? If you've seen it, did you go to the theater and see it? Were you one of the people that bootlegged it and watched it? I really feel not good about that, but I would be interested to hear how it affected you watching it at home. It's interesting because early reviews of people that I saw on TikTok in particular, they were losing their mind over it. And now that it's actually out, I'm seeing a lot of the reverse where people don't like it. And like I said, I got you. I get it. So let me know in the comments. What did you think of Skinamarink? Let's talk about it. I look forward to having this discussion with you guys while I'm traveling here in the comments about this movie. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I do have a big box of Vinegar Syndrome coming. How funny is it that I'm about to leave the country for a trip, and I'm still just anxiously thinking about my Vinegar Syndrome package that I ordered. I really want those movies. So that'll be coming. We'll open that when I get back. But in the meantime, I will try and do some shorts on here. I'm not going to be doing a full-length video next week, but I will try to do some shorts on here. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing daily TikToks too. So hit me up on those platforms. I'll do my best. If I actually am hitting some stores over there in down in Cozumel and I find a movie, I'm going to let you guys know because I will be looking. I've got an all-region player. I'll buy whatever. If I could find a movie to bring back, I'm definitely going to do that. So let me know what you guys think of Skinamarink. Let's talk about physical media until next we meet. Pull something cool off the shelf, share it with friends and family, and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV at home. I'll see you guys on the next one.